All right, so you're trying to find a profitable product to sell online. I get it. It can be really confusing. There's a lot of different products out there that are possible to sell. Which one do you choose? Well, I usually just start with a few really specific criteria. For high ticket specifically, you want to just make sure the product is over $500, but ideally it's going to be over $1,000 or $1,500. And the reason why is because a lot of suppliers charge for shipping. And their margins aren't going to be over like 20, 30% usually. Sometimes they're like 50%, and then even the high shipping costs are enough. But the problem is when a supplier charges for shipping for a high ticket product, usually it's an expensive product and it's really big. So it requires freight shipping, palletizing, insurance, all these things, and an LTL freight truck company to deliver it. All that stuff's really expensive. It can be hundreds of dollars. And depending on the weight and the size, it can be hundreds of dollars all the way up to $1,000 or more. So you really need to have a vendor that offers good enough margins to support it. So every time that you are going to look at a product, think about the size and the weight. And how big that product is, and just consider like, okay, does this thing look like it's going to be really heavy and expensive to ship? One of the examples of a niche with high shipping costs is safes, like gun safes, jewelry safes, business safes, home safes, that kind of stuff. Those things are really expensive because they're big and they're bulky, and they're expensive to ship is what I mean. So you got to be careful and make sure that you're not going to be, losing all your margin to shipping costs. So the size of the product makes a big difference. The price of the product makes a big difference. The reason why the price is important is because if it's like a $2,000 or $3,000 safe, for instance, and the shipping is $500 and the margin is 30%, if you do the math, you're still getting, $600 in margin, and shipping is $400 or $500 or whatever, so you're still going to make a profit. But if the safe is a $500 safe and shipping is like $100 and the margin is 20%, that's a $100 margin with $100 shipping costs. You're basically at a loss, because even though it's break even at that point, you still have more expenses to pay, like merchant processing fees and other things probably. So you're just going to make sure. Usually I'm looking at niches that are like $1,500 and up. And usually I want to look at niches that have some sort of electronic component to them, just because generally speaking, electronic products are going to be more expensive, harder to sell, more complex. And the more expensive the product, the less likely it is to be stocked at a big box store. Okay, so the cool thing about selling online is that you can get access to products that are not stocked at big box stores, right? Let's just talk about like Home Depot, for instance. They usually stock brands that are big name brands, right? And the same with Best Buy and stuff like that. If you're looking at appliances, it's like Kenmore or whatever, those big appliance brands, right? Whereas there's more brands available in the marketplace. And somebody that lives in a small town or even in a big city, when they go into one of these big box stores, they're only going to see the big brands usually. They're not going to see the small brands or the different brands. Or, some of the brands are like more unique, or they have like other features or better looks or whatever. They've seen it in a show or something like that, TV show or heard it on the radio, whatever. And they're going to look for those online because they can't find them at the big box store locally. And then they might find your website, because what you can do with your website is you can put up Google ads and be at the top of the search engine, and then they'll find you. Okay, so those are the types of brands you really want to sell online. Those name brands that aren't like the top name brands, but they're like the more unique brands, let's just say. Or I usually call them generic brands, but they're not really generic brands. They have a brand name, depending on the niche, but they're just not brands sold in big box stores. And sometimes they are, but only online. Like the big box stores will sell them online, but not have them in their showroom, right? And that kind of sucks when you're selling online, is that you're competing with them, but still you can compete at that point. The hardest point is trying to sell a brand that's in a big box store, because they're just going to buy it from the big box store. That they're going to offer the warranty, they're going to offer service and all that stuff, things that you just can't. You can do manufacturer warranty and you can sell extended warranties, but you can't offer them in store, and you can't offer the person just like to bring it back to the store. So high price is important. The other thing that goes along with big brand names is brand loyalty. So people are going to be actually more loyal to bigger brands. And this is true with especially with consumer devices that people buy year after year after year, like, smartphones and things like that, tablets. But you just have to make sure that there's plenty of alternative brands available in the marketplace for that niche. Okay. Another thing is supply and demand. So the way you can figure that out with demand is keyword research. It's pretty simple. You just go to a tool like KW Finder, which I recommend and use. And if you go to a tool like that and you search for the keyword specifically of it, you can see how much search volume there is. If there's only like 10 or 20,000 a month, it's probably not going to be, that profitable of a store for you just selling that product. You're going to have to incorporate it into a bigger store. But if it's already a product that's got like 200,000 searches a month or more or something like that, then it's probably going to be enough just to make a single store in that particular category. Okay, so you want to make sure there's plenty of demand. And like I said, if there's not, it's okay. You just have to combine it into a little bit of a broader niche store. For me specifically, mid-niche stores work the great. Middle niche, like not huge and broad, but like not tiny one product stores either. Like let's just say 3 to 5 main categories, that kind of stuff. Like you can talk about like a massage site where you're selling massage chairs, massage tables, or a spa site where you sell spa chairs, spa equipment, or like a sauna, not like a sauna store, but like maybe like a home gym store or something like that, where you have like the workout equipment and you have the recovery stuff where you have like ice baths and you have saunas, all that stuff combined, you would have a pretty good store. But you really just have to check the keyword search volume. And the next thing to do is just check Google Shopping ads and see who else is selling these products. And then check those stores. You make a list of all the stores and find out which ones are online only that don't have a physical location, which ones do have a physical location but are smaller businesses, and then which ones are big box stores. And then out of that whole list, if you can establish which ones are online only and don't have a physical location, then that means they're mostly likely drop shipping, that they don't have like a warehouse or something that they're storing inventory and shipping it from. Then you can actually find their brands on their website and put them into a list, and then find their contact information on Google. And once you set up your website and got it ready, like a little demo site or whatever, you can call them and try to get them to sign you up as an authorized dealer. And once you do that, then you'll have access to their product catalog and all their pricing and their pictures and other assets, and you can use that to populate your site with their products and offers, and then start selling them and advertising them. So that's pretty much how it works. And in the niches that I look for, I'm trying to find with at least 5 to 10 niche online only competitors. That means there's plenty of demand, that other people have verified that this niche works and they're doing well, that the stores look like they're well populated, that the suppliers on their stores are at least 20 to 30 different brands, and that's a good niche. That means there's plenty of demand, plenty of suppliers, and there's just lots of business to be had there. And as a new store, it might take a while to break in. It might be kind of unprofitable at first, but if you put enough work into it over time, then you can figure that out. So with all this information, that's great, but like, where do you start? How do you even get product ideas in the first place? I would just look around you in your house or outside, or when you're just like going around, and see what products you see that look like they're big and expensive, and take a note of what you would call those, and then look them up on Google Shopping. And then like also Amazon or eBay, you can just search for like expensive products, different categories and stuff like that. Just try to find products that are priced over $1,000, and then, do the research from there. Okay. So lots of different ways to brainstorm product ideas, and you just got to do the research. And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you want more information, if you want my curated niches list of profitable niches, you can go to ecommerceparadise.com and get my free niches list at the top, or just go directly to ecommerceparadise.com/niches. I also have a masterclass, a full course available. You guys can check that out at ecommerceparadise.com/masterclass. I also offer turnkey service and private coaching, as well as some other services. Check that out at ecommerceparadise.com. Make sure you subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.